Okay, hello everybody. It is August 11th, 2025, and wanted to do the second video in my Trump fact check series. On August 6th, 2025, Donald Trump made a statement at a news conference. He said fake news was saying that prices were up when in fact prices are down. He's wrong about that. Prices are absolutely up. Not dramatically. They're up, what you think of as normal, maybe a little higher than normal inflation, but nothing dramatic. But they're definitely not down. But specifically talked about gas. He said gasoline is down. He said it's around 2.40 a gallon. It's going to be less than $2 a gallon soon, except for California. He said it's 2.40 a gallon in many places. Were his exact words. So I thought, let's take a look at that. Well, I checked. As of August 6, 2025, the national average was a little over 3.20 a gallon, depending if you looked at AAA or Gas Buddy data, but it was around 3.22, 3.23 a gallon is the national average. The California, of course, is higher. It's up near $5 a gallon there. But I checked, see, okay, what's the cheapest state? He said it was 2.40 a gallon in many places. Cheapest state is Mississippi. It was about 2.73 a gallon when he made that statement. That's not wildly different from 2.40 a gallon, but remember, that's the cheapest place there is, or cheapest state. Every other state is higher than that. To give you an idea, taking a quick look at some data from Forbes, other states, for instance, because I talked about California. California is around 4.50 a gallon. Hawaii 4.47 a gallon. Washington State 4.40 a gallon. Oregon $4 a gallon. Alaska 3.73 a gallon. The point of this is no, there's nowhere where it's 2.40 a gallon, and there are several states that are either at or above the $4 a gallon mark. Now that's not because of any policy of Donald Trump. That's largely because the West Coast of the United States is actually in sort of a different oil market than the rest of the country because of the Rocky Mountains. We can't pipe oil over there, so they actually have to import from a lot of foreign countries more than using domestic production. They also have a lot of crazy environmental regulations, which really drive up costs. But the point of it is, Donald Trump is telling people that gas is 2.40 a gallon in many places, and that is absolutely, provably, objectively false. Now, as to the question, could you find some gas station somewhere at 2.40 a gallon? I don't know, maybe, and I'll tell you why. We just had a brand new gas station open up near where I live. They had an introductory price for a couple of weeks of about 2.50 a gallon. They did that for a couple of weeks. Everywhere else in the area was around 2.95 to maybe 3.05 a gallon, generally speaking. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it went to 2.65. And then a couple days later, it was 2.75. And then a couple days later, it was 2.79. Then it was like 2.84. I drive past this gas station all the time, and after that, it got up to where it's kind of like everyone else. It's 2.99 or it's 3.05. It depends on kind of whatever the daily price was, but you will see pictures on Twitter and other social media accounts of someone will go and they will snap a photo of a gas price. It'll be really high or really low. That is not good data. As I explained, in this particular case, you saw very low prices for a couple of weeks because it was brand new. It was a 7-Eleven station. They wanted to get customers to come in. You'll see sometimes when gas stations are new or they're putting up a new sign and they're testing their lights on the sign, they'll run different prices. They might run $6.89 just to make sure all the different buttons work and whatnot. There's an example of that. There's a famous photo went around showing gasoline almost $8 a gallon in California. That station had been closed and was reopening, and they were testing their sign. And so one of the test numbers they put up was $7 and like $7.79, I think. That was not their actual price. They weren't even open. They weren't even selling gas. That was a sign test. So that's why those photographs are not very accurate, because they may show something like an introductory price, testing a sign for a station that's not even currently selling gasoline, things like that. But we know from the data that the average is well over $3 per gallon, and the cheapest state was over 30 cents a gallon more expensive than what Trump was stating. Now, the really nerve-wracking part about all this is that I don't think Trump told a lie. I think Trump believes it. I think Trump has created this is my opinion, has created such a strong echo chamber around him that somewhere, somehow, the number $2.40 a gallon popped out in some context. I have no idea what. And he just decided that's reality and nobody's going to correct him. And if you doubt that, remember, he fired the BLS data for showing job gains because he said the job gains were too small. So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be correcting him when he says gas is 2.40 a gallon within his own administration. And when he says prices are down, that is objectively false. We've had nothing but inflation since he has been president, albeit not terribly bad inflation. It's been what I would think of as medium to maybe even mild inflation. Nothing to get concerned about, but it is still inflating. Now, that's not unusual. We generally have inflation. The Fed itself wants at least 2% inflation. Having inflation is not a failure of policy per se. If it gets really high, it can be. But the idea that costs are dropping is just not true. And we can check things like AAA, Forbes, or Gas Buddy, and we can see this for ourselves. And of course, you know it as you go to the grocery store. So, okay, hope everyone enjoyed the video and hope everyone's having a good day. And please hit that like and subscribe button.